That's right, it's your favorite time of the week. It's time for Topic Tuesday, the show all about Taekwondo. And I'm your MC Sabam Nim, Paul Van Squike. And I'm here today to talk to you, that's right, all about the art we love, Taekwondo. And I'm a little high on Culver's iced tea right now. That stuff is good. And when the sun is shining and it's a beautiful day and you have some iced tea to drink, there's nothing better in this world outside of Taekwondo. Okay, let's jump right in to your oh so important topics. Starting with a topic from Mike York 3093. Thanks for writing us, Mike. Mike says, great video as always in reference to last week's Topic Tuesday. Really enjoy your takes. I'd like to know, what belt or level do you consider a Taekwondo practitioner to be dangerous? I mean, being able to handle themselves against untrained people in a self-defense or street fight scenario. Okay, two answers here. It's either 33 years or after 666 classes, whichever happens first. That's when someone is lethal in Taekwondo. Okay, now the real answer. I hate to be redundant. I hate to be this guy who's always like, it depends, because obviously everything depends. But it depends, Mike. Let's go back to thinking like an engineer. When is a car fast? Well, fast is subjective, isn't it? Is it a 0 to 60 of 5.5 seconds? Is it 4 seconds? Is it 3.3 seconds? I like that one. What makes a car fast? And then if it's fast on a drag strip, would it be equally fast in the snow? No, you've got to change out all the stuff. You've got to change the tires. You've got to go into four-wheel drive, you know, all these different things that are going to make it depend. So the same thing can be true of Taekwondo. I would say if you're training the right way, you're going to have a huge leg up. You see what I did there? You're going to have a huge leg up over most people after about a year or so, because you're going to have developed reflexes and athleticism well in advance of the average person. That's assuming, again, that they haven't done anything athletic themselves. Now, the street violence thing, self-defense thing, as we've discussed before, that looks so different every time. What exactly does it look like this time? What's the mentality of the person going into that? All of these different little variables are going to play a part. If you took someone who like grew up on a farm wrestling with his 12 brothers and like, you know, cranking bulls down to the ground, they've never done any martial arts. Maybe they did rodeo a lot. I've met some rodeo guys. They're tough people. And when they do martial arts, they're really tough, okay? So you take someone like that, give them 6 months of martial arts training, like Taekwondo, well, they're gonna beat desk job dad who has 33 years of training, probably in 6 months, okay? So you see the problem? There's so many factors that go into this question that giving you just an answer is really difficult if I'm being genuine. Okay, now, the part everybody actually wants to hear, let's say we average all of that out as best we can. I think assuming you're doing top quality Taekwondo training, and by that I mean you're heavily involved in the competitive side of the training, so you're fighting with people a lot, even though it's Olympic style. You're actually like fighting with live resisting people in a full contact format. I think by the time you get to black belt, you'll probably have a leg up on most other people in terms of just having reflexes to dodge, avoid, all that kind of stuff. It's going to give you a huge advantage over having not done any kind of martial art training. Now, I know a lot of people have different values in their head. They're like, everyone by the time they are a black belt should be able to kill all other non-black belt humans. But, you know, if I have a 70-year-old mom black belt, or grandma in this case, are they going to be able to kill your rancher rodeo guy with no martial arts training? Probably not. Does that mean mom or grandma shouldn't be able to get a black belt after she's put in 7 years of hard work and dedication and can perform all the techniques at a high level in terms of just like a textbook format. She's good at doing the stuff. Does that mean she shouldn't get a black belt? I don't think so. I think it really is just a marker that demonstrates a student's dedication and determination over time rather than their ability to dominate another human. I hope that's a satisfactory answer. I know it's not the answer you want. You want like a clear-cut number. It's the same as fitness. I had a friend send me a fitness video this morning that was talking about all the bad science that goes into exercise sports, exercise science. And it's like the studies that have been performed over the years have so many flaws. People who like give you an absolute way of training to get buff, they don't have a lot to stand on there. There's too many variables. And the same is true with Taekwondo. I can't just give you a number. Okay. The next question comes from, you can't feel my flow. How do you know what I can feel? Mind reader. No, you can't feel my flow. It says, my daughter loves Taekwondo and always wants to practice at home. That's fantastic. So few kids want to do that. You've got a prodigy perhaps on your hands there. What types of activities could I do to help her train and also be a good activity for us to do together? What a fantastic question. You know, there's that old line, families that kick together, stick together. And hey, looks like you're on the right path when it comes to that. Oh, such a good question. I'm going to go back to the it depends thing for a second. What do you want out of the training? Are we talking general Taekwondo, like you want to get good at pumse, sparring, and move through your belts? Or are we talking about like getting into some kind of competitive realm in sport, Taekwondo sparring or pumse? Yeah, it's going to depend a little bit, but let's just assume she's a general student, just kind of working her way through the belts right now. I would say, step one, you want to do forms practice regularly because kids have a hard time just remembering that stuff, and just going through the sequences is extremely helpful if you do it at least once or twice a week outside of the class, because then they're not in the class thinking about what comes next. I notice when children don't really know the form in terms of the sequence very well, they're extremely sloppy because they can't remember what comes after the next, or what comes after the movement they just did. So their form is ugly. If they know the sequence, they can at least attempt to put power into it, even if the technique isn't clear yet. So get those sequences down. That's a good at-home exercise. You can gamify it, you know, see how many times or how many mistakes you make in the form, and then try to reduce it each time. Have like little, maybe if you're training together, you see who can do it without mistakes, and every time you have a mistake, you get like a card or something, and then whoever has the fewest cards at the end wins, you know, something like that. But when it comes to sparring, hitting stuff, when you're a newer student, getting your techniques down is so critical. I always like to think of it in the sense that there's like 3 key components to sparring, and this is just a conceptualization of mine, but you've got your tools, which is like how good your kicks are in terms of speed and power and technical accuracy. You've got your reflexes, which is earned by actual live drills with other people. You can't really just magically install those. They have to be honed through training. And then you've got like the mentality side, the strategy, being able to watch another person, figure out their game, and then figure out how to counter them, along with how to stay calm under pressure, that kind of stuff. So those 3 big key components there in the way I conceptualize it. So if you're a new student, step 1 is to sharpen your tools to the point where they're adequate for use in sparring. Now you can always increase the quality of your tools, but at a certain point you get to that level of diminishing returns where it's good enough, and then you should really start to key into other areas. But out of the gate, you need to be able to do stuff like a roundhouse kick where you turn your hip over and hit with the correct part of the foot. That kind of stuff is really critical. It's probably the most important thing getting started, because all the other stuff can't really function if you don't have some of the basic tools. So heavy bags, clapper paddles, just working on the kicks on those objects That's going to go a long way. Now, the next thing you can do is actually do some drills that help develop the reflexes for sparring. And I actually put out a course, it's like a mini course on sparring on my website, tkdguide.com, and it's got some of the best drills that I learned through my friend who spent 4 years training with the Olympic coach that help you develop reflexes for defense in sparring and for just finding openings. And once you kind of get that format down, you can add and subtract and make up your own different drills, but it helps you understand how to do it in a way that translates into sparring directly. It's giving you direct reflexes for your Olympic sparring. And it's like $15. It's not a whole lot of money. And if you don't like it, you can tell me and I'll just I'll refund you. You know, it's no big deal. But I think that could be helpful for you. It's a lot of stuff where you're like using paddles to simulate kicks and helping them work on their defense, finding the openings from there, that kind of stuff. So that, hitting targets, working your reflexes. Of course, stretching. You know, if you're watching TV, you might as well do some stretching. Here's the cool thing about stretching too, is once you develop your base level of flexibility, you don't have to stretch as much to maintain it. Now, every person has a different point where they, again, hit that level of diminishing returns where like they've built some flexibility and then they hit the wall, and in order to pass that wall, you have to do a lot of extra stretching. I don't necessarily recommend you stretch constantly and try to break that wall, but get to that wall at least, because then you're maximizing your returns in terms of flexibility, which allows you to perform the techniques to sharpen your tools to a pretty high level. Okay, good question. Hope you guys enjoy your training together. Oh, she then says, also, will you make more regular videos anytime soon? We liked the Deadly Technique video because of the comedic jokes and edits. Appreciate your different perspective to martial arts that isn't combat obsessive. Thank you. Yeah, I am working on a video right now. This one's like a really kind of deep historical dive and then evolution of kicking dive, so it covers both those subjects. And it's like, it's going to be about 18 minutes long, and it's all edits. There's nothing like me talking to a camera like this. So it's just very, very time intensive. It's going to be at least a 20-hour project by the time I'm done. Minimal. It's probably going to go way over that, honestly. I chip away at it every day that I can work on it, but it's not my full-time job, obviously, so I can only put it out so quickly. But stay posted for that. I hope you guys like it. If you can drive me some views when that comes out, that'd be fantastic. I know Topic Tuesday, it's just for the die-hard fans because most people don't want to just listen to me talk to a camera for 30 minutes, 33 minutes. Culver's iced tea. You got to try it. You got to try it, guys. Okay. From Mace Master. Mace Master. Mace Master says, I had to quit Taekwondo because the insanity of it suddenly dawned on me. Americans took a deadly martial art invented by Koreans to fight the Japanese. Your history is incorrect there. And we used it to open daycare centers. It's like sending your kids to the gun range. And yes, I realize we do that also. Okay. The only way I'll ever train Taekwondo again is if someone opens an adults-only dojang. That sounds like a porn dojang, but okay. Why did I even read that? I guess it's just to illustrate that this is such a strange mentality to me. That he thinks Taekwondo is so dangerous that children should have never been involved with it, and the fact that kids are involved with it today is like sending a child to a gun range, which apparently he says is inappropriate because it's too dangerous for them or something. I don't know. I thought you guys would get a kick out of that one. Mace Master, if you're a current subscriber, I don't want to lose you. I value all my listeners. I would just ask you to really take a moment to reflect upon your worldview here. Taekwondo Taekwondo, it's a great activity for kids. It helps them develop so many different things. And that doesn't spoil it for adults, or it shouldn't. I can't think of any subject or content where kids getting some value out of it should ruin it for adults. And in terms of daycare centers, I mean, sure, there's some schools out there that probably do that. I know there's some that have after-school programs, that kind of thing, but a lot of those, are just ways of the school to generate some revenue, which, I mean, I'm going to tell you, if you're hiring instructors and stuff like that so you can really have a top-quality program, you've got to find these extra ways to bring in revenue. So if they're doing that and they still have a quality martial arts program, is there really any harm in them having some after-school stuff going on for kids if it helps them build a quality program? And if you're talking about schools that don't have quality programs and they're just trying to profit off getting kids involved, again, I think those are actually pretty rare, and just because they're out there doesn't mean the entire art is that way. There's good and bad everything. There's good and bad churches, there's good and bad government schools, there's good and bad private schools, there's good and bad car dealerships. So you can't just look at one model from one town and then extrapolate that out universally. Don't unsubscribe. I need you. I need you. But take a second just to reflect. Just be open-minded. I want to shout out the channel Combat Learning. They have a Combat Learning podcast. Combat Learning left a comment on last week's Topic Tuesday video, and it was a smart comment. And I'm like, who is this guy? And so I clicked on his profile and saw that he has a whole channel dedicated to some really interesting stuff about Taekwondo and other just training methods for martial arts. This is smart stuff, guys. This is better than anything I'm gonna tell you. He's like leagues ahead of me. And I don't know, like I think he's got his content up on audio-only places and then also on YouTube. It looks like some of them don't have the views they deserve, if there is such a thing. But go check out his stuff, man. It's fantastic. I couldn't recommend something much more. Combat Learning. And I'll be back, hopefully soon, with another fun non-Topic Tuesday video, and I'm going to keep doing those. Don't worry, I'm not going away. Topic Tuesday, again, it's for you die-hard fans who just want an inside look behind the curtain to learn more about what's going on in the Taekwondo world and like who this guy is who makes the wacky Taekwondo videos. As always, guys, enjoy your training, and please, 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 Culver's Iced Tea, leave a comment for next week's Topic Tuesday, because you guys keep this going. If I don't have any comments, I don't have any Topic Tuesday. And some of you say these are really fun. So if you want them to keep going, keep the comments coming, and I'll keep making the content for you guys. That's how it goes. It's a reciprocal relationship. And hey, if you share this to your Taekwondo friends, it's not going to hurt anything. Okay, until next time, enjoy your training and enjoy your Culver's Iced Tea and sunshine. See you later.